Hey, welcome to BreitWerks. So we're getting ready to address this little guy out, 1986 930 Turbo. And as I was doing that, one of the things is what's the correct hardware? So over the years, I've seen this combination screw with a flathead, right? Pretty rare, but I have seen them come off of motors. I've seen just a regular, 10 millimeter long M6 with a flat washer. And then these guys, which they call it a combination screw, but it's basically the bolt with a washer that's captured on there. So 3 different types, and I'm still trying to figure out which ones go with which ears. Someday we'll find that out. But in this particular scenario, these are the ones that we took off. Whether they're original or not sure. However, we were able to find some bright, shiny new hardware from one of our metric suppliers that is a combination screw. The only difference is it doesn't say K-Max or K-Max or whatever on the head of the bolt. So, but there's a lot of these that you need to put all the tins on. So we're gonna start installing tins, and if you've taken them off, they're not that hard to put back on. There's a little bit of an order that you want to do to them, but yeah, we're gonna go along, and if anything cool happens, one of the challenges is getting this angle right on your AC bracket. Most likely we'll have to go back and adjust that angle, but we pre-installed the AC bracket to see if we can make that work. And then, yeah, it's time to start dressing this little girl out. All right, follow along, and as we go, we're gonna try and get the Scavenge pump on the back and the tins around the side, and get her ready for a wiring harness. So when you're putting the turbo back together, this left rear corner, right? So this is behind cylinder number 3. We're looking at the back of the motor now. This is is an important part, because this guy here has to mount after this guy here because of the way that this is cut out. And then when you put this guy on, you've got a paper gasket, a triangle paper gasket that goes on the back side of this. And then you also have to replace this radial seal, because that's your camshaft, right? You don't want oil coming out of there. So, and then this up here is actually a third piece, or yeah, I guess a third piece. So you got that part first, then this part, and then this part goes over the top. And we're gonna finish out the Scavenge pump before we add any more of the tins on there, just to make it easy. But slowly but surely, we are making some progress. We made it a little bit further than I had planned before taking another video for you guys. But hey, when you're on a roll, you're on a roll. So you don't stop. So from where we were to where we are, first thing I always do is I always put the oil lines in first. So oil lines on both sides. Plus this is a turbo, so it's got the turbocharged feed line back here. The tins are relatively easy. We talked about the challenges of the Scavenge pump. These guys here, require a little bit of pressure to all fit correctly. Again, this is a backdated oil feed line, so they don't always fit perfectly. But, put on the, we had already rebuilt this as a part of teardown. So you can see there's fresh grease in the throttle bell crank. And we're waiting on one rocker, because one of them that we got out of the 12 reconditioned was just a little tight, no biggie. So they're sending us over another rocker. And we don't have these guys all tightened down yet because the way the turbocharger sits on there, and that's kind of why I don't have the front panel on there yet. Right now, just trying to figure out, do I really want to send this out with this fan looking like this? Or do we want to try and talk the owner into, hey, let's redo the fan? I don't know. I like the red. I like what it was going for, but here's the reason you don't do powder coating on fans, right? Everybody likes to have a colored fan. Here's the problem. The leading edge just tears up, you know, whether it's sand or salt or whatever it is, that fan's spinning pretty hard and your leading edge never kind of holds up. So that's why I always just kind of leave them natural. And then this we would get plated, but I don't know. I mean, it's in, all the harnesses are connected. So we're just about ready almost to put the injection system on. However, I don't like doing that when we don't have an exhaust system on the bottom. So we've got an exhaust system on order. It's supposed to show up. And once that's on, then I'll move over all the fuel injection stuff. But for now, we kind of, you know, I think probably the last thing I'm going to do is just build out this AC area. And I'll show that to you guys. And then we'll call this video quits until we start to work on the exhaust and the turbo. All right, so there you have it. If you stuck around with us to the end of the video, not only did you get to see the air conditioning bracket, but our first peek at this rebuilt turbo. Can't wait to see how this thing hits. Look at that turbine wheel. Compressor wheel stayed the same, but the turbine wheel, big time upgrade. So she spins nice and smooth. If you've been watching from the beginning, you remember that that was not the case. All right, hey, thanks for watching. And once we get the exhaust in, we'll do some more videos on this guy. But till then, we're gonna set her aside. Thanks for watching. Check us out at BreitWerks.com.